to the 2024 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational presented by Evo Shield. The beat rolls on. Day 3 from the Eddie Seymour Complex. Another top matchup, this one out of the top 5. Georgia and Florida State going head-to-head. These two very familiar with one another. We'll get
hard every single year. You're going to see her throw significantly more innings this year for the Seminoles than we've seen in years past.
Total of 6 all of last year as she walks. Dallas Goodnight appeared in full of home runs up against the Cowgirls of Oklahoma State and the Bruins of UCLA. This one lifted into the air high into center field, and Jada Kearney says, see you later. Well, we talked about the home run ball being effective here this weekend, and Jada Kearney gets in on the action of the tournament.
You can see where Emma Wilson tries to attack Kearney in this at-bat, tries to go with the rise ball up in the zone, knowing that Kearney's swing is more suited to pitches low in the zone. This one, right about belt high, she gets her barrel underneath it, gets all of that backspin so that she can get the carry on that fly ball to send it out of the yard and put the Bulldogs up early.
We've seen more power, and it clicked certainly yesterday, as we mentioned. And Wilson's second walk of the inning. And Kuma makes contact up the middle. She's hit 500 come into the game, and that is gonna continue to rise as Georgia, who has hit the ball exceptionally well, and for Tony Baldwin in this Georgia Bulldog team. 2 on, and Chamblee laying down the sacrifice bunt, does so perfectly. When you're looking at Georgia, knowing they can hit so...
Just feel a little bit more comfortable with her swing to start off this season.
And feeling good as she rocks it all the way to left field, into the warning track, onto the warning track. And Georgia lighting it up here early in the first inning.
Huge swing for Sarah Mosley. Gets a pitch on the up and outside part of the plate. Not a bad pitch, not a bad location, but just a better swing by Sarah Mosley. Gets around this one to drive it out to that left center gap. You can just see the emotion on her face when she gets into second base. Her teammates love it.
Especially against a potent offense like Georgia, as we've seen this weekend. On the ground, the grounder over to Devin Flaherty over at second base, and 2 down. Time now for today.
Connie Alameda has done a fantastic job of that throughout her career.
Emily Digby scoops this one into left. It bounces in between 2 of the outfielders, and a 2-out double for Emily Digby.
Really impressed watching her through the offseason. This is a drop ball low and inside. Look at the arm side run that pitch had on it as well. It's not easy to get a pitch like that into fair territory, let alone drive it out to the fence out in left center field. A great looking swing by the freshman Sarah Mosley.
The payoff. Armistead pops it up. It's going to be in play. And underneath it is Ross, and that ends the inning. But Wade Kaser hitting back-to-back home runs to tie up the ball game at one point midway through. Just came up short as Kerr, he is retired. Well, scouting report on
zone with those rise balls.
Issa Torres sharply hits it to third base, and the true freshman is retired. A 4 for 5. In that contest, swung on, it's going deep and over the left field wall for a home run. The hot hitting continues for Kaylee Harding.
That's a home run for Kaylee Harding.
You know the ball must look like the size of a beach ball to somebody like Kaylee Harding. When you get into a 2-0 count, you take a hack at an off-speed pitch, a changeup, you go after it. Look at the way that she's able to sink into this front leg. That shows me that's not necessarily the speed that she was looking for, but she adjusted when she saw it coming out of Walter's hands. She noticed it, made the adjustment with her legs, kept her hand.
To the season, 4 for 6 this weekend as the Tallahassee native. Swung on, backhand by Mosley at third base, and that ends the inning. But putting up a run and answering with a home run with a walk, came around to score on Jada Kearney's home run. She's on deck. Pitch from Danley, and struck her out. So good start here for Ashton Danley.
Barrel underneath it, almost falling to the ground with her swings to get a couple of hits off of them.
It was the off-balance landing that she had. Good cut there, swing and a miss, and a strikeout for Ashton Danley, who wins American. As she connects Sydney Kuma now with 2 singles here in this ball game. High and 4 straight walks, or balls rather, have been doubles. And on cue once more, this one going back to the fence. And a couple of doubles for Sarah Mosley, and give her 5 runs knocked in so far today.
In a good hitter leverage count, a 3-1 count. Ashton Danley does not want to walk in a run. She's going to bring you a strike, and it's one of those curveballs that's moving its way in on the hands of Mosley, but she's got such quick hands moving through the zone. Just pounds this ball out into that left center gap.
That one a wild pitch over the head of Edenfield, and now standing at third is Mosley. Digby past the diving Beecham at third base. Bring home Zeron, another one racing around. And just like that, Georgia, another big inning.
2 doubles in both of Emily Digby's at-bats. That downward movement, she's able to get Barrel underneath it just enough to drive it past the diving glove of Jason E. Beecham over at third base. Another squared up hit by Georgia. They just seem to be getting their pitch in the counts that they want to be in, these high leverage hitters counts. They know that Ashton Danley had been struggling to find the zone, and
the best in Georgia history. If you will, we're seeing flashes of it right now. First hit of the season for Lauren Burnett goes out of the park.
That's a 2-run home run by Lauren Burnett.
Lauren Burnett, with only 17 at-bats all of last season, comes up and blasts this one. A new pitcher enters the ball game, so you've got to switch your focus, switch your game plan. And how about Lauren Burnett coming in off of the bench? She knew it straight off of the bat. Got one of those rise balls up and inside. A sweet swing coming from the right side. She tattooed that ball out of the park. To bring those pitches into the strike zone.
And this one hits Dallas Goodnight. That one's gonna sting as she walks.
Continue to pump the rise ball in the top part of the zone.
Instead, she leaves it up there, and a bomb from Jada Kearney.
2-run home run. Jada Kearney.
What we've seen Georgia do already in the first 2 innings. Pitch right about belt high, gets Barrel underneath it, and boom, out of here. I don't think that one's landed yet, past the trees in left field. Knew it straight off of the bat. Relentless, tough, gritty, clutch, everything that we've seen from this Georgia offense already to start off this ball game is exactly what Coach Baldwin wanted to see from his team this weekend. Strategy happening at all times.
And winning that battle is Davila what an at-bat from Hannah Davila. This 2024 season, they're hoping will turn out a little bit different. This one hits batter in the head, and Sydney Kuma is okay as she takes first base.
A little scary moment there as that ball came up and in.
And that ends the inning. McKenna Reed strikes out Sydney Chambly, but it was
Texas. I think that one's going to be a good one that I'm looking forward to.
Devin Flaherty lines out to third base. Well, obviously we talked about the weather and
Let's swing at that.
the 3-2 from Walters, and this is driven into left center off the fence. Michaela Enfield rounding first and slides into second with a one-out double.
And we were just talking about it, Tiff. These are the times.
The pitch. Wade Kaser with the grounder, charging from second base is Sydney Kuma, and 2 away.
It's always interesting to see what types of
Washington over on the ACC Network, an early morning start to get your Sunday going. First pitch swing at Katie Dack, and a run comes across as the first baseman, Emily Digby, couldn't pick it out of the dirt.
these are the type batters, but I like that competitive mentality, not afraid to get it right in there.
Kerr, a little dribbler in front, fielded by Walters, the errant throw, and again, capitalizing on errors. 2 runs come across there. And 3 unearned runs put up by Florida State again.
And yeah, that they're still down by 10 runs because they know they just need to chip away at this score. A very similar looking play developing as the one we just saw off the bat of Katie Dack. But Shelby Walters goes to throw it to first base and just sails it out into right field. All smiles in that Florida State dugout because they know.
And swings through that one, and Shelby Walters gets the strikeout, cutting away at that deficit. With Big 12, everyone coming into this season challenging and trying to see who's going to take down Oklahoma. The Sooners, who were unbelievable last season, 61.
In and day out. And we've talked about the runs here in this invitational, but the defense has not been the sharpest. That's an area that a lot of these teams are going to want to clean up.
And Sarah Gordon gets her first hit of the weekend. The home run off the bat of Sarah Gordon. The Oppo shot.
Home run, Sarah Gordon.
And you can't take your eye off of the Georgia Bulldogs for 1 second.
The location of this pitch, too, up in a way right about where that G is on her jersey, on the outside part of the plate. And she utilizes the velocity that McKenna Reed brings on her pitches, doesn't try to overswing than I ever could with just the galvanizing of the fan base that she's grown just because of how exciting it is to watch her out there.
Castori, hot shot back up the middle, and the pitch hit single, first at bat of her career, and it ends in a single. Who would command the circle this season with a player like Kat Sandercock moving on? McKenna Reed is in position to be one of the leaders on the staff for Florida State, but that is something that a lot of coaches are asking across the country.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that are in a similar.
3-2 to Kearney. And the walk to load the bases. Here. And walks in a run. So Georgia is capitalizing off. Tyler Ellison is hoping to do so here, the 2-2 count. And Maddie Balk gets her to strike out. Smiles from Maddie Balk in her first appearance of the season.
Out in the cages and being able to change her swing depending upon what sort of pitching they're going to be seeing out there.
Drawing the walk, discipline right there, leads it off here in the bottom of the third. But if you're the high school of Florida State, as that one chopped over to Sarah Mosley at third base, and she's safe. So the force out at second as Jason Beecham is able to leg it out.
Nice job of getting right back out there and attacking these batters as they try to chip away at that lead.
And how about the base hit from Christina Hartley? Her first of the season, the single.
Make the play over at first base. Not a ton of hard contact being hit off of her so far today.
That one is a great shot from Maddie Frey into center field. A run comes across. So her first hit produces a run batted in for Florida State.
Really good swing here by Maddie Frey. Just as we were talking about how there hadn't been a ton of hard contact, she smokes this ball up the middle. Looks like a screwball on the inner half, but you can see the way she almost tucks her hands close to her body to keep her barrel inside of that pitch. She drives the inside pitch the opposite direction. Really great piece.
In this game, right?
Gonna quote that. Change up, change maker.
Because we saw what Nigeri Kennedy, we know.
Hit off of it, but everything, her motion, everything stayed the same, and that's oftentimes what can tip some pitches for some pitchers. But I think Lily Backus does a great job of hiding it, and it's not easy to come in off the.
And this one popped up on the infield and 2 away. Touched the top of it, the play at the plate, and she's thrown out. So that ends the inning. 1 run comes across, the second one, not so fortunate.
Just to keep her hand as dry as possible.
This one, high skying. And 1 away.
But overcast days were nice because I didn't have to worry about any sunballs up in the air. Definitely not rain, though.
Mosley aboard with the one. Trying to pick up another win against a ranked opponent against the Florida State Seminoles as back-to-back walks given up by Balk. Sarah Gordon takes first.
Happening down here in Florida.
Emily Digby connects with this one off the left field wall, and Mosley is motoring around to score. Emily Digby, who is in scoring position, and here's the latest.
The freshman 4 for 4 on the day. 2 doubles to start things off, and now back-to-back singles. Swinging the bat extremely well in today's ball game, barreling up these pitches no matter the speed, no matter the location. Really liking the way that she...
Threatening once more in the bottom of the third already with a 6-run lead. And more action. Georgia Tech seeing another one go out the park as Northwestern blasts a shot. And that's Donahue
this season.
The grounder over to second base, and that ends the inning. Well, Georgia puts up.
Figure out what's going to be the best look for her team as she moves through the rest of the season.
Janai Kerr smacks that one into left center. It's going to go all the way to the warning track, and a double to lead it off here in the ACC. And one of those constant contenders, and always putting up a great fight. And right here, you're seeing it. That one out of the park in right center off the bat of Isa Torres. Well, how about the true freshman learning from those upperclassmen on how to respond in these type of situations. No give up here.
First career home run for Isa Torres as well. She's got a really great swing coming from the left side. This pitch elevated a bit up in the zone. You can hear that sweet sound off of the bat. Nothing quite like that sound, the excitement as Torres is rounding third base, coming into home.
The two teams again, another high-scoring game, and we were talking with Michelle Smith about all these high run totals. It's gonna look more like football scores.
Very.
Felt like it just kept going. I was like, wait a minute, is it still going now? Is that game still happening? Are they still scoring runs? As Mosley not able to make the play after getting out Harding this time. The 2 out.
Into play for the defenses and the pitchers.
Right in front to Backus, who fields it. And now it's 2 down. And the 6-3 put out ends the inning. And the walk to Kearney. Well, Sunday on ABC, the #1 ranked South Carolina.
Circle, they've got Shelby Lowe in the circle. Those two pitchers can carry you a long way.
Davila through the 5-6 hole. And the base hit, and the first 2 runners aboard for Georgia here in the top of the 5th. And then we'll see.
A&M's always another one that I keep my eye on as well.
This one past the diving third baseman, and so bases loaded now as
McKenna Reed, bit out in front, but still able to get these balls out to the grass.
Rain picking up a little bit as that one into left field, and the diving grab can't come up with it. Kennedy Harp, great effort there, just not able to get to it in time. The run scores.
But each team has scored in every inning.
And once again, Sarah Mosley just connecting well with the softball. Another double drives in more runs. She's got 7 on the game.
Get her timing down in that at-bat. She was early on her swings the first couple, and then finally connects with this one. Squares it up right on the sweet spot of the barrel. That ball just sounds different coming off of her bat. It hits about halfway up that fence out in left.
Sarah Gordon pops it up, and over at short and underneath it, and batter retired. Type of game, to your point, where you can let everybody get in and have some experience as Emily Digby pulls this one into left field. Man, oh man, a 3-run homer for Emily Digby. And the offensive explosion continuing for Georgia.
What a day for the freshmen. I wonder if our umpires are saying that somebody missed a base. Looks like they're calling one of the runners out.
Well, let's get another look at it here.
Oh yeah, Jaden Fields well off of the base. Just walking off. It's not like she was even making an attempt to steal. She just walked off of the base early. And remember, you can't leave the base until the...
And the strikeout as Digby is caught looking, and so highlights big bats for Georgia, but again, we've seen this Florida State team continue to battle away. Bueno grounds it out over to shortstop for 1 down. And this one into the opposite field for the base hit, and runners at the corners now with 1 out, for Florida State.
Good piece of hit.
Kerr gets a hold of it into left field, and the RBI sac fly for Janai Kirk.
Element that teams are going to have to prepare for.
This one pulled, nice play at second from Kuma, and not holding on to it, so Torres is going to stand at first. You talked about just
game changers for their team. You look back to last season, bringing over Shelby Walters from Duke completely changed the dynamic of their pitching rotation. And then again this year, adding to that pitching depth to make sure that he has fresh arms available as they get deeper into the season. Shelby Walters adding that additional rise ball to her repertoire.
Kaylee Harding knocks in a run. Boy, Harding, you can't talk enough about Kaylee Harding and just how impressive she has been. Now,
from advancing to the next base.
on the ground, deep into shortstop, diving, and that ends the inning. Great effort there to end the ball game. A run rule victory as Ellie Armistead diving to get the final out of this game, and the Georgia Bulldogs went ham this morning.